has, as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it and gave it to his disciples and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." Communion. Mark has the same thing. As they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it and gave to them and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." John doesn't have this. The next part in John begins chapter 14. "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me." And this speech goes on for a few chapters. Luke 22 verse 15. "With desire have I desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer." And again, we know he's not talking about this Last Supper. He's talking about the next day. After that verse, he says, "For I say to you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God." So, did he eat the Last Supper? He says here, again, following verse 17, "And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, Take this and divide it amongst yourselves, for I say to you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God shall come." If this happened before the Last Supper, he must not have eaten or drank during that meal. If it happened after the Last Supper, then of course he could have eaten it and then handed out the bread and the wine for communion for them and said, "I'm not going to eat anymore. That Last Supper is my actual Last Supper. And I did eat it, but now I'm done." "And he took bread and gave thanks and broke it and said, This is my body which is given to you. Do this in remembrance of me." Likewise the cup. So I am inclined to put him saying now, "With desire have I desired to eat this Passover with you." That way it's not confusing to readers that the Last Supper may have been the Passover. It's extremely clear with John, but Luke it's not. And because he could have said this after Judas left, because both Matthew and Mark have that Judas was exposed or pointed out, then they had communion, meaning this could have happened now. I think it's acceptable to have this statement and his giving and his saying, "I'm not going to eat thereof, I'm not going to drink thereof," after the Last Supper. So he did eat the Last Supper, then he said, "I'm done. I'm not going to eat until the kingdom of God comes in." And he said to them with desire, "I have desired to eat this Passover before I suffer. For I say to you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God." Alright, you know what? I'm actually rethinking putting Jesus' statement about not eating until after the Last Supper. I could have it before. In the evening, when the hour was come, he sat down with the 12 apostles. And said to them, "With desire have I desired to eat this Passover with you." Everything from Luke. "But I will not eat until the kingdom of God come." He passed out the cup. Then, as they did eat, there was strife among them. I could do that. But that would mean that Jesus did not eat the Last Supper. But that's kind of what it says in Luke. It just goes right into it. I'm not sure if it says anything in Matthew or Mark. Matthew. I will not drink hereafter this fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it in the fullness. Earlier he said, he that dips his hand with me in the dish, meaning Jesus is eating. You can't dip your hand with Jesus unless Jesus is also dipping his hand in the dish, meaning Jesus is eating. So how can Luke say, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God, unless this does come after the meal? No, I'm going to keep it where it is. It has to be. Because it says Jesus was eating. He dipped his hand in the dish. Which means it has to be after the Last Supper that he's saying, I will no longer eat. He couldn't have said that before the meal and then said, it's whoever dips his hand with me in the dish. If Jesus didn't dip his hand, it means it'd be none of the 12. So I have to keep it here. With desire have I decided to pass over with you before I suffer. I will not eat thereof until it be... So he didn't eat. Now he's not eating. Okay, I'm going to keep it there. I was really about to change it. I want to keep it.